this country's financial system is in trouble. Welcome to Watching the Horizon. I'm Jake. Some of you out there probably feel, as I do, that this country's financial system is in trouble. Now, I don't like to dwell too much on the fear. I don't like to dwell too much on the conspiracy theories, which happen to be more right than wrong nowadays, just saying. But I worked in the financial sector for a good number of years, before the bubble, during the bubble, and even after the bubble. And it was a wild ride. And I can't help but look at the state of the country today from a financial perspective. And by no means am I any kind of super genius expert. Yes, I went to school. Yes, I'm trained. Yes, I have probably a better eye than most concerning finance. But I'm not any kind of guru, nor do I claim to be. But even during the real estate bubble and the recession that was sort of surrounding that time period, you knew it was coming if you were in the business. You knew something was coming. You didn't necessarily know what it was, but there was the warning drums, and you could certainly hear them. Didn't really know the scope and how big it was going to be, but you were nervous a little bit. And then one day, yes, it happened. For me, it came in the form of an email. And that was kind of a fun day. But anyway, it has been asked of me many times, hey, what are some warning signs, that we're going to have some sort of impending doom, or that the financial collapse is, imminent. And that's really kind of tough to say for sure, because you never really know what the circumstances are going to be. Something's going to happen. You can certainly feel it. It's definitely sort of a tension in the air, but how is that domino going to fall? And what's it going to look like? You just don't know. But there are going to be some warning signs to look for, and I saw one the other day and thought that I'd bring it to your attention. Now, for those of you who don't know, our money system is run by the Fed. Now, despite the name, they're not actually a government agency. They're a private bank. And this private bank basically owns the money. And they turn around and they lend the money to the U.S. government at a deficit. And we can get into the politics of that, but that's not really the point. The main point is that this bank is a privately owned bank. And they have their own interests, their own purpose for being. They're certainly in it to make money. It's not a philanthropic endeavor. For sure, this is an organization that is for profit. Yes, they're in cahoots with the government, but they are not the government. And that's a really important distinction to make. Because most countries don't really do that. Most countries, the money is owned by the government, not a third party. Again, we won't get into the politics or how that happened or any of the background on that. But like any commercial enterprise, they want you to continue to use their product. And to stop using their product would be disastrous. And so in this instance, we're talking about the dollar, the physical money, the paper money, the coins, your paycheck, the digital ones and zeros that end up in your bank account. This is your money. And if you were to lose confidence in your money, well, the value of the money would go to zero very quickly, because our money is only as valuable as you think it is. It doesn't actually have any kind of intrinsic value in and of itself. Itself is just a piece of paper, cloth paper. It's you can't eat it. You can't do anything with it. It doesn't turn into anything. So when I was reading an article where the chairman of the Fed was out there, and she's like, you know what? Everything is fine. Everything is just peachy and dandy. You know, we learned our lesson in the past, and because of the recent recessions, and of course there's the Great Depression, we have put plenty of things and safeguards in place so that no such event could ever happen again. In fact, I don't think we're going to see any kind of major financial crisis in our lifetimes. Why do you need to go out of your way to make this claim? This is the same person that when she gives her report to Congress, every word is just dissected with a magnifying glass. Did she mean this? Did she mean that? It was in the present tense, not the past tense. Is she going to raise interest rates? Are the interest rates going to go down? I mean, they are very careful with how they talk publicly. Very scripted, very sculpted. Everything that they do is on purpose. There's no off-the-cuff anything with these guys. So the fact that they felt the need to get out there and make sort of this public statement that everything's fine and we've got so many systems in place as safeguards, we're not going to see any sort of issue in our lifetime. Well, that tells me that they were feeling the pressure of people losing confidence in the dollar, that they needed to make a statement to bolster that confidence, which in and of itself renders the original statement as false. Again, I'm not trying to get into conspiracy theories, but that just sort of seems like common sense. That's like a crazy person coming up to you and trying to convince you that they're not crazy. Sane people don't do that. So there it is. I think that this is one of those warning signs where here you've got arguably one of the most powerful people in the world in charge of the entire monetary system for the United States of America, arguably the most powerful military in the world, one of the most prosperous in the world, certainly one of the biggest spenders, trying to convince everyone that everything is fine. Why do I not feel fine? I was actually feeling better, not that it was great to start with. I was feeling better before I saw this interview and related article. I saw this and man, did the alarm bells start to go off? Did the flags start to go up? And you know what? When you've got the chairman of the Fed making these kinds of statements, and then you start looking at the private sector, you start looking at these, celebrity billionaire investors, and they start making claims that, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a pretty big financial shakeup probably by the end of this year or definitely by the end of next year or whatever. It's one thing for these, celebrity investors to talk that way. It's another thing to actually see them move their money. Now, when one of these people actually moves their money, they can't really do it in secret, at least not very well. There's too many people watching. They're not going to be able to hide significant large transactions from the public because there's too many people in the industry that just mirror every move that they make, thinking that if they just emulate them, they too will be rich and powerful. And these celebrity investors are, in fact, moving large sums of money. Now, granted, they move large sums of money all the time, but not in this way. Not the scope that they have been recently. So, these people want to stay rich. It's not like they're just willy-nilly throwing their money around, easy come, easy go. No, they want to protect their position in life. So when you see one of these people move their money, it's for one of two reasons. Either A, they think they're going to make more money somewhere else, or B, they don't want to lose their money where it's currently sitting. So if you're interested by this kind of thing, go check it out. Go see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I mean. There are plenty of well-known investors, celebrity or otherwise, that are tracked. And when you see kind of the movements that they're making, they are in direct opposition to what the chairman of the Fed is saying, that everything's fine and we're probably not going to see any sort of big financial disaster again in our lifetime. I would love to be wrong. Nothing would make me happier than for her to be right and me to be wrong. That would be fabulous. But the fact that she's even making the statement tells me that everything is not okay. So there you go. There's a warning sign to look out for. Give me your thoughts. Do you disagree? Do you see other warning signs such as this that you would like to share with the other viewers? Put them down in the comments and let's check them out together. So anyway, appreciate you watching and be sure to keep your eyes open.